pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Eileen, are we live?
Not yet.
All right. Roll.
Graham Cassoon. Here. Tobin is absent. Kleiner.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
John Francois.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Green. Absent.
Absent.
Massey.
Here.
President Rodriguez.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Correspondence?
Nothing this evening.
For the good of the city, anyone who would like to address the council, please step forward.
Good evening. Vince Crescenzo, 30 Watkins Avenue, corner of Watkins and J. I just want to give you a very brief update on where we are with the superintendent and the superintendent search. Let's see, I got to get the dates right. October 7th will be Richard Del Moro's last day. He goes into retirement on that day. We got to remember that he's been with the district for 35 years. He's accomplished a lot, and he rose to the superintendency. And some of the things that stick in my mind was the pandemic. He really showed his grit during the pandemic. He got us through all of those conflicting mandates from the state, from state ed, from the federal government, from the county, and we got through it with a minimal amount of damage. Then, just currently, now we have the Twin Towers project that's going to start soon. Actually, this Thursday, we're going to talk about where we are now, and that's going to be like a 4 or 5 year project. And then the media center will be dedicated soon. I don't know the exact date, and that's a state-of-the-art television studio, probably the most advanced one in New York State at this time. So 35 years of service. We wish him well in his retirement. So that opens up a superintendent search. There's been a lot of rumors of what have you. So I just want to give you a brief description of what's going to happen now. The composition of the board, we have 3 members that have never been part of a superintendent search. We have another 3 that have done 1, and the last 3 have done 2. And Dr. Johnson will tell you this is a very, very complicated procedure. So we're going to start with New York State School Boards Association is going to sponsor a workshop for us, a superintendent search workshop. All members are going to be required to attend this. It'll be a 4-hour workshop. And a lot of things are going to come from this, but one thing that is very important is that each board member will come up with a list of what they feel a superintendent should have, their requirements, their experience and what have you, and what they can do for our very, very diverse, very unique district. And after that, we'll hire a headhunter, a professional service that only specializes in superintendents. And we have a list that we're going to look at and vet them. And then what happens from that point is that we will give him that list of what our expectations are and other things. We'll have a long conversation with him. And then all applications nationwide, we're not just doing local, we're not doing New York State, nationwide search, all applications go to the headhunter, to this company. And our criteria will be maybe bring back 3, maybe 4 candidates that fit what we're looking for and what he perceives as a perfect fit, or as close to a perfect fit for our district. That relieves the board of looking at any applications. We will not see any of them until the very, very end. And there'll be no special recognition for anybody. Everybody's equal. Everybody will be part of the search. And then, obviously, as in previous searches, we'll have community, government. There'll be a lot of public involvement with this committee setup, and that's going to be down the road probably 2 or 3 months. And we'll keep you updated. But that's where we are now. We'll have our interim superintendent appointed October 7th at the not this meeting but the next one, and we'll move on from there. So that's all we have at the moment. It's still in flux. We're in good shape. We have good leadership coming up, and we're going to move forward. there will not be a hiccup. We'll just get this ready, and it's going to take 7-8 months. It could take a year for this, but we hope to have, we know we will have a new superintendent in place by the next school year. I mean, that's it.
I got one question. The high school, how many kids do they have up there?
How many kids in the high school? About 2,300.
I reached out to a couple board members and I asked about the COVID plan, and none of them can provide me. Do you know what the COVID plan is for 2,200 kids?
Well, we have to follow, we don't make our own plan, obviously. We follow the state regulations, or state ed, actually. You know what, it just recently came out, I'll get it to you, but it's going to be mask required unless you have a doctor's excuse.
I have 2 kids.
Right.
Every time the bell rings, they're shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
In the hallways, in the stairwells, and I'm still not getting any answers.
I promise you, tomorrow I'll talk to the proper people, and I'll have it in writing. I'll send you an email of what the current
Buses, Toll Oaks,
buses are out of our
they're
control.
3.
They're
No,
out
no,
of
no, they're not out of your control because you guys contract
Right,
with the bus company.
right.
There are 3 kids per seat. Toll Oaks, 3 kids per seat, and some of them are standing.
But again, we don't control, they can't get drivers. They're limited that way. So you have what should be 5 or 6 buses are now being serviced with 3 or 4 or 5.
Is the district receiving more funds from the federal government
Not
and the
this
state
time.
government
No.
to battle with COVID and the pandemic?
Oh, well, there's money coming in for COVID, but not for the busing. Right.
So money for COVID, but not for busing. So it's okay to put 3 kids per bus
I
and
didn't
have
say
them
that.
standing.
I didn't say that.
I welcome at 7 o'clock, you can come to Toll Oaks and see.
You're not
The kids
telling me
are
something I
getting on
don't
the
know.
bus.
And it is a concern, and the board is dealing with it. But if there are 20 buses in the parking lot and only 17 drivers or less,
And the other thing, last year or the year before, they were doing bag checks almost daily and vaping in the school district. My kids are seeing it all the time.
so I'm not aware of that.
Well, just to take it back,
I will. Okay, and I will get you that information about the,
do you have anything?
I just had a quickie. You inferred that the interim appointment is not public information at this time. Is
no,
that
it's a
correct?
personnel issue right now, so you'll know a week from this Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry, you have anything?
Same
Okay.
question about, I think, interim.
Anyone else would like to address the council?
Good evening, guys. Joel Sierra, Orange County Legislator, District 20, City of Middletown. Thank you for having me tonight. The streets look great. Thank you for the streets, and the new garbage program's going great. I just wanted to remind everyone, I'm sure all of you know, October 23rd begins early voting through to the 31st. I'm sure everyone here is aware of that. You're all running for office, but it will service not only the city of Middletown residents, but portions of Wawayanda, Mount Hope, Otisville, and Wallkill. So we just wanted to thank the mayor's office, the clerk's office, and senior center for housing that and making that possible, and wishing everyone success this election season, and reminding all the residents in the city of Middletown to get out and express your early voting rights. And that's all I have. I'll see you guys next month unless you have any questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address the council? Okay, remarks to the mayor.
Good evening, and first I want to thank Mr. Crescenzo for coming to the meeting and addressing the issue of the school superintendent. I want to congratulate Mr. Del Moro on his retirement in 35 years here in the Middletown district. And based on that, and based on the success of the district, with especially the graduation rates and others, I wrote a letter to the district. And now that we're here discussing it, I feel compelled to at least read it into the record here also. I sent it to President Williams and members of the board, And it read, "As you approach a very difficult decision regarding who will lead our district, I felt compelled to forward to you my thoughts. When key positions open up in government, there is at times a tendency to look outside the organization for new leadership. Of course, certain situations may require that. In our case here, regarding the Middletown School District, I would hope that looking back at the success of the Middletown School District has had, this would be an indicator that the solution may lie right here in our backyard. It is my understanding that there are several qualified candidates that are currently employed by the district. This group of administrators played a huge part in the success story that we are experiencing here in the City of Middletown School District. As we develop management teams to lead our respective agencies, the ability for one to advance within their profession has been central to maintaining qualified people who care not only about their job, but also about their community. Community involvement, interaction with kids, families, and agencies that make up our city are also contributing factors to a successful city and school district. It is my hope that the board gives special attention to those interested parties that are currently employed by the Middletown School District as you search for a new superintendent. There appears to be a large pool of local candidates with experience and leadership skills that we need here in our district. I have taken the liberty to forward a letter of reference, but that's a separate issue, on one of the employees, and I won't read that part into the record because I think that's more private. But I'm hopeful that you will consider looking within the district prior to a national search. Apparently the decision has been made, but I think there will be some people within the district that might look at it a little bit differently, and ultimately the board is going to have that decision. And of course, we wish them the best of luck as they move forward with that. But I think it's important, I think, using Mr. Del Moro as an example, as 35 years with the district. I think that speaks for itself, that he wasn't 35 years at a district in California or in Ohio. He was 35 years here at the Middletown district, learning the district, knowing the people, and getting accolades throughout his career here. So just my opinion, I wanted to add it and put it on the record now that we had an update on it. I didn't plan on doing that, so I don't have a slide on that. Otherwise, I would have. But I felt that I should at least put it on the record after Mr. Crescenzo spoke. So, okay, let's get started, Maria. Tonight, you'll be voting on the official resolution renaming John Degnan Festival Square as John F. Degnan Square. We had a wonderful dedication. Some of you spoke about it at the last meeting. It was attended by almost every member of the council who was in the city at the time. Mr. Massey was not in the city at the time, so he did miss it.
Acknowledging that.
Yeah, but
Goodbye.
but it was a well-deserved recognition for a guy who has put his heart and soul into this community. So, he's been a teacher, Middletown District, for many, many years, coach, worked for the county as the purchasing manager. But more importantly, when we formed the Business Improvement District, at least more importantly from my perspective, the board brought John on. And they brought him on for his passion for this community, his knowledge of this community, and his commitment to making the downtown Middletown a success story. And I think if we look around at what's happening here now, that it is appropriate for us to forever remember John Degnan here in downtown Middletown. One of the conditions of the recognition was that he not retire also. Sometimes when you give awards to people, some people might think you're trying to force them out. That's not the case here. We wanted to recognize John for his hard work, and if he decides to retire in a short period of time, I will be proposing a resolution that we strip his name off of that wall. So I'm sure he's watching and listening, so he got the message. So next is the garbage cans and dumpsters. The program is working. It's working well. The feedback from the neighborhoods are a lot cleaner, a lot less animals rummaging through the garbage. We now have all the extra cans in, the smaller cans, and the 65-gallon and a 35-gallon. So anyone who's looking to downsize their can can, and they need to call DPW to do so. We are also doing, myself, Jacob, and Maria, along with Ross Mastria, today from DPW, toured downtown again, and we're finalizing the downtown management plan. And we're going to be coming back to you possibly for an amendment or two to the DMU garbage pickup, where we can, rather than have the property owner submit a plan, we're also going to have ask that the property owner now submit a plan in conjunction with our visit to them, so we can identify where the garbage has to be placed out. We will also be adding at least 2 additional dumpster locations in the downtown, strictly for downtown business and residential use, not for people to pull into the parking lot from other parts of the city and use them, so that we can limit how much is going out onto the street at night and try to get as many people using dumpsters as possible. It's not entirely possible, but we're going to do our best to make that happen. So we'll be meeting with the bid district, and we'll be meeting with building owners. We'll be contacting them, and we will be doing a property-by-property search for that. The next issue is the federal court project, or the former federal court building. The Barton and Judas is now, I believe, 65% completed plans. We hope to have this project out to bid by the end of the year. I know that might be cutting it short a little bit. I think we can do it, but it's an important project. As you know, the original court mandate was about an $8 to $9 million project. We fought that for many, many years. Assemblywoman Gunther was able to secure $2.7 million in state grant money for us for both the purchase of the federal court and the expansion or renovation of the existing court into both police and city hall offices. So this the complex here will be strictly police and city hall, and the court will be moved over to South Street, and we will have 2 courtrooms there. So the project is moving in the right direction after many, many years. I want to thank the Office of Court Administration for basically working with us. It was a tough go, but we're probably going to be saving in the area of $4 to $5 million on the project. And we will, as soon as the plans are ready, we will be reviewing them with the Common Council prior to sending it out to bid. Next issue is the Heritage Trail. And we touched on it a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, regarding the county and the right-of-ways as they come into the city and some of the railroad crossings. Jacob and the county attorney and Alex are working on that, where the city will be purchasing those right-of-ways. And I spoke with the county executive again today. They have mobilized or are in the process of mobilizing the contractor, and work is back underway or will be underway very shortly. So I did ask for an update for the East Main Street through the downtown process or progress, and that should be forthcoming soon also. Next is the skate park vandalism, which has been taking over social media. A month or so ago, we did have some vandalism at the park, and it wasn't stuff that was just easily taken care of. It was both vulgar and racist graffiti and large paint on the surfaces throughout the park, with some damage to the decorative M that's on the wall or on one of the skate walls. So we had to close the park immediately. We did some work with removing the graffiti, but even with that, there's some damaged surfaces caused. So we had the John Bianchi arrange for a company to come in to look at resurfacing and look at different options. The recommendation is that we do the repair and the resurfacing of the entire park. The cost apportioned out to the vandalism is I believe, in the area of $13,000. That's due to the damage. The police department has made one arrest. The person, I believe, is from Bloomingburg. There were 3 people in the car, not local. They came from out of the city at 2 o'clock in the morning specifically to do damage to this recreational facility that is enjoyed by so many people here, not only in our city, but in the region. So we're hoping, and we'll be pushing for not only restitution, but the gentleman is charged with and he's 18 years old, so he's not a kid, charged with a felony. And we would hope that the district attorney will keep in mind the damage that these 3 people have done to not only the park, but also to the mindset of some of these kids that utilize that park on a daily basis when they ride by it and see that they can't use it because of vandalism. We've also had quite a few people that have ignored the police tape and have ignored the fence. They've been charged with trespassing. They've had their skateboards confiscated. Also, the fact that we're going to be doing this repair, hopefully starting either the end of this week or early next week, it's even more important to stress that they cannot cross that fence and go skateboarding, because we're going to be back into the same position where you're going to be damaging the surface of that property. So the one person who has been arrested has not given up the names of the other 2 people that were in the car with him, but that's up for the police and the prosecutors to handle. We do have 1 person in custody, was obviously released, but 1 person to prosecute, and we hope the district attorney prosecutes them to the fullest extent of the law. Next is the warming station. We're getting down to that time of year. The interior is complete except for the kitchen equipment, which is not necessary to open. That's an added benefit that we've put into the process. The exterior work will begin next week. That's the roof, retaining wall, sidewalk, and parking lot will be paved all by the end of October. The bidding was already been done. Ended up being, the total project cost ended up being $409,064. Of that, we used the COVID funding of $309,064, entitlement funding from CDBG of $50,000, and the city of Middletown put in $50,000 in order to move the project. Project did take longer than expected because of materials and supplies that we were unable to get. Some of it we're still unable to get, but I guess it is now complete. We're able to finish the project. They can occupy it now. City DPW crews assisted the warming station staff and volunteers in relocating all of the materials and items from the temple down to Mulberry House, and so the place is ready to go and is operational. On a second note, this Maria, I believe, this project is up for some type of congressional acknowledgement for the use of COVID funds, and I think it's one of the 5 projects nationwide that Maria will be on some type of. Well, let her explain it. She knows more about it than I do. And very deserving. The Community Development Office did a great job with it. Yesterday, there was a press conference in front of City Hall. Assemblywoman Gunther was there regarding a $1 million grant for primarily mental health grant for Orange County. And of course, it impacts our city. There were people from all over the county here, both law enforcement and elected officials. And it's a good project it will fund the, I think it's called 988, Chief? Is it 988? Is that the new number they're talking about, or?
Oh, that's going to be a state number.
State number, yeah, a state number, but locally, it's going to assist with mobile mental health and some mental health services. And, I've been meeting with the ambulance folks, Mobile Life, and I've met with other ambulance corps regarding the renewal of the contract. And in discussions with all of them, one of the biggest issues on shortage, ambulance corps are having, companies are having the same problems as as the busing. They have lack of people working, the EMTs, the reimbursements, but a lot of the calls that they get are mental health calls. And if we're able to dispatch a mobile mental health unit rather than an ambulance to certain calls, that leaves that ambulance in service and will shorten response times to the other people that need service. So it's a good program. There are many benefits to it. And I want to thank Assemblywoman Gunther for her efforts. She's chair of the Mental Health Committee in the Assembly, and she was able to deliver this for Orange County. And Darcy Miller from the Orange County Mental Health was here also on behalf of the county. We also had a groundbreaking on Benton Avenue, the former OBS building, which has been owned by Middletown Community Health, and now Cornerstone. They are going to be doing a $7.5 million project at this site. It is about 5,000 square feet, 5,200 square feet of additional space, and a complete renovation of the building. It's going to be a family health care center. It's an exciting project for the city and for Cornerstone. It was made possible by a $5 million grant from New York State and a $2.5 million commitment and donation from the Raleigh Foundation. If you recall, the Raleigh Foundation has contributed to many projects in our city, including Davidge Park Pool, the YMCA pool, and so I wanted to publicly thank Rich Raleigh and his family for all they do for our community. And probably one of the most important projects they're doing is this, because it's going to give healthcare access as a right and as it's supposed to be. And I'm not sure on the timetable for the renovation, but it's the project will have many positive effects, not only on Middletown, but on the region. And as for COVID, COVID is not over. We try to keep reminding people it's not over. The hospitalized confirmed, as you can see, are 65. We are now dropped down, I think, on a list. Where do we go here? Oh, we didn't. So we're that low on the list that it didn't show up. Maybe we got cut off on the top. I don't know. But we're still working very hard on trying to get people to wear a mask when in large groups of people, and primarily to urge people to get vaccinated. So please keep that in mind. If you need rides to vaccinations, we can provide rides through the senior center. But please get vaccinated or consider it, and do what's good for our entire community. Any questions?
Any question for the mayor? Alderman Johnson.
Thanks. A comment and a question. You know, you've been beating the drum on the mental health issue for quite a few years now, and I want to thank you for that. I think we all agree it is a county issue, not a municipal issue, and hopefully our point of view will prevail, but we're making slow and steady progress, I suppose. With respect to the garbage cans, Alderwoman Ramkissoon and I were kind of wandering, not aimlessly, but wandering around the Third Ward yesterday. We met a gentleman on Maryland, and I spoke with a woman later on West Conklin, older people, who are concerned about when we have snow removal and we have plowed snow, how are they going to put the garbage can where the garbage can needs to go? Have we thought about that?
Yes, well, the garbage can should be going as close to the driveway as possible. So assuming they have a driveway, they're going to be plowing their driveway. But even if it's snowing as it before the plows get out, they still have to put it in the same spot. The arm reaches over, it reaches down. It doesn't go underneath. It reaches down, so they'll be able to get it. So tell them not to worry about it.
Okay.
That it's our first rodeo here with doing this type of stuff, but I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out and make sure. If, for example, if we have to put on an extra crew member that day to help maneuver the can, we will be doing it.
Okay, good.
And it's the same with downtown. We may be putting them in certain parts of downtown or in certain streets. We talked about Ogden Street. It's so narrow, we may have to put an extra person on that truck for that route, for that portion of the route, to help maneuver the can.
To position the can?
To position the can, possibly. I don't think so citywide. I absolutely don't have to do it citywide, but there will be areas that we may have to do some type of, or at times, like during snow. You know, our DPW sanitation people, they pick up during blizzards and everything. So I'm sure they got a plan in place to make sure it all
Good answer,
happens.
thank you.
Now, back on the mental health issue, I just want to give you an example
Yes, sir.
how the whole system is failing in mental health. And it's not just mobile mental health, but it's, the state, when they closed these facilities, including MPC, made a commitment to adequately fund and take those savings and invest in mental health. They did not do it. And this goes back to Hugh Carey and every governor and administration since. And sometimes they're just throwing money out, and it's not, whatever they're doing is not working. So this mobile mental health thing is a good thing. But I believe it was last Saturday, we had a man at the intersection of Cottage and Route 211 and Albert. It's a 5-corner intersection. And many of you probably have seen it on social media. Totally naked, laying in the road. From Yonkers, don't know how he got here or why he's here, but from Yonkers. Now, obviously the man is in a mental health crisis. He's having a problem. It's not something you do. Police take him to for a mental health evaluation. Within 2 hours, that person was back out and engaged in a fight on Dolson Avenue, and the police had to arrest him again, take him into custody again. So it's not just the response, and that's what we're trying to get across to some of the advocates for, quote, defund police. That's, we've opposed that. But even the mental health people are saying, and including at that press conference, that we don't want to defund. We don't want to go to a scene like that by ourselves. We need mental health to work in conjunction with the police department. But then once the issue is addressed, we need them to keep people into a facility as long as they need it and as long as they need treatment. And to me, that's a perfect example of how the system is failing. And if a doctor or whoever did the evaluation decided to release him did not see a problem with a man in the middle of the day laying naked in the street or sitting naked in the street of a busy highway, state highway intersection, then what the hell else was going to trigger that doctor into saying this guy needs to be in here for a while? So that part of the system we're still working on, and it's going to take the public to make calls to our assembly people, our senators, and others to make sure we bring about the appropriate changes.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, remarks of the department heads. Economic Development.
Good evening. Just to follow up on what the mayor was saying about the warming station, this project has been chosen by HUD to be highlighted for best practices of COVID funds for public facilities. So we will be presenting late in October. I want to thank my office for helping and working hard on this project, and also we're getting all the material together for the presentation. It'll be sometime towards the end of October. I'll keep you informed and let you know, but I believe we're one of the 4 cities in the country that are going to be presenting. So we're looking forward to that, and we're pretty excited. The Paramount, we announced our concert series starting in December and to the end of April. So we have 9 major concerts that we're going to be presenting. We have our COVID guidelines in place, and everything's on sale moving forward. We're looking to resume our movies as soon as the front doors are completed, which we're looking at the first week of October. Hopefully that'll be all completed, and then we could resume our movie schedule. So I know the staff down there as well is looking forward to getting things rolling, and also our audiences and our patrons are looking forward to coming back. So we're pretty excited about that as well. And I just want to say congrats to John, and looking forward to the resolution tonight. And everybody knows how he's been a strong advocate of downtown, heart and soul of the city. He's been a teacher, a mentor, a friend, but really worked so hard for this community, and he's going to continue to work hard with us and keep teaching and keep us moving. That's all I have for tonight.
Any question for Maria? Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
DPW Commissioner.
Good evening, all. Start off with my traditional update on the reservoir level, because Alderman Massey is back from well-deserved short vacation. We'll come back. All our reservoirs are full, 100%, all three of them. Moving on to the wastewater treatment plant project, we have the screw pumps. I have not updated you for a while on these pumps, but we have installed 2 pumps in there, and we tested them, commissioned them, make sure that they're running fine, and they have been running. We worked out all the bugs out of them, so they are working fine. And now we will be mobilizing to install additional 2 screw pumps. One is primary and one is secondary, and then after that we will install the last primary one. The reason why we are doing it in stages is because wastewater treatment plant performance and function is very much dependent on those screw pumps, and they're big tubes in there, and they require specialty crane to come in and install them, and specialty contractor to install them, and so on. So it's quite complicated, so we're not taking chances. Once the old ones are ripped out, there is no going back, so we're doing it in stages, taking our time. EFC from Albany, they came down because they are funding this project. They came down to inspect and take pictures and see where we are and everything like that. And I think everything went very smoothly with them, with EFC. Another project now at the other end, at the water treatment plant, which is the high lift pump station. It replaces an old pump station that we had that was constructed in the late 1980s. It's way overdue to replace that pump station, and now the project is coming to almost to completion, where we might be ready very soon for commissioning the new pump station, which is very exciting because all the time we're very anxious about keeping the old pump station going, which served us very well, but it's time for it to retire and to put the new one on. Water storage tank projects, again, I did not update you on that for a while. We have 3 water storage tanks. One of them is Highland Avenue water storage tank. Right now, T-Mobile is trying to sort out with us building a tower right on our site so that they can take their antennas off the tank, and then we can sandblast and we can repaint that one water storage tank. The other one is purchasing property for the Carmelites in there in order to build a new water storage tank for Mountain Avenue. So all this is moving very slowly because we have so many parts, but we're getting there. The water main, the high pressure water main on Manhagan Avenue from the water treatment plant, we had some setbacks there, whether it is Orange and Rockland having their old abandoned underground pipe that possibly is contaminated, causing us to find another route for our water main because they were going to charge us very high costs for removing it when it's outside the city and so on. But now we're expecting a delivery of a new pipe to the site, hopefully by tomorrow. It will be arriving, and then the contractor will resume the construction. We still have some issues with the installed section of the pipe. Is about half a mile, and we're working on resolving that issue. New York Rising projects, again, I have not updated you on these projects for months, so now I'm giving you the update because there is some movement. For the Grand Street section of the project, the contractor has mobilized, and he's going to start deploying the shotcrete inside the section of the pipe that will remain in place. So we have a culvert crossing Grant Street, and that is part of the Draper Brook. And what they do is they send people inside the culvert, patch any holes, and then do shotcrete. What shotcrete is, it creates another concrete pipe inside the existing pipe. After that will take about a couple of weeks, and after that we will be hopefully the box culverts that are being delayed because of the precast issue in there. Everybody's falling behind. Hopefully they'll be arriving at the site, and then we will be installing them shortly after the shotcrete. But we're waiting every day. They keep giving us update about when we're going to be getting the box culverts. So certain section of the project will be will be upgraded in place. The other section will be an open cut to replace the whole box culvert. Another thing is Mark Pengel. Mark Pengel, he's our Deputy Commissioner for Street and Sanitation. He's been working for the city, dedicated his really good, most of his life to the city of Middletown. He started from labor to skilled labor to foreman to deputy commissioner. He did a great job for us. He'll be retiring, and I think October 1st will be his last day. I'm sure the mayor might invite him over, but unfortunately, it's going to happen before the next meeting. So that will be his last day, October 1st, and he's going to be having big void in there. But we do have people that are ready to and willing to step up and take his position, but he will be dearly missed. I've known him I've been working with him for about 17 years, and I trusted him, and he's always been there for us, and he's done a great job, and appreciate all your service, Mark. And with that, I will conclude my comments. If you have any questions for me.
Any question for Alderman John Fitzwater?
Commissioner, where do we stand with the traffic project? The last discussion we had, it was supposed to be sent out for bid. Where do we stand as of now?
Yes, the traffic operations, it's a three-part project, like I reported last time. It's part of it is a traffic operation, which is about $21 million construction. Another part of it is the DRI funding, which is basically to pick up the slack between different projects and fill curbs and sidewalks wherever the other projects, the ADA curbs and sidewalks did not finish, and whatever the traffic operation could not finish. So that's about $2.2 million. And then we have an additional funding in there for another $2.2 million. We're trying to get the construction agreement signed with DOT before we do an official award of the bids to Boyce Excavation. Right now, Boyce Excavation, he seems to be the low bidder in all three projects in the amount of $26,100,000, very close to that number. So that's where we are right now. So we need to sign something with the DOT, and that will tell us how much money is really coming from DOT federal funding, how much is the state going to be contributing to it, and how much is the city going to be putting up some money for that, whether it is 10%, 5%, whether it is 20%. All that is going to be worked out with the construction agreement, we hope.
Thank you.
Yeah. Electronic drop-off, you were going to?
That was a Saturday. Yeah, I actually drove by on Saturday, and it seems like everybody was hard at work. How did that turn out?
Yeah, so we had the electronic drop-off on Saturday this time, and it worked out very well. We only had like 22 pallets. Usually we have much more. When we started, we used to have tractor trailers, 2 of them getting loaded. Now we're down to 22, which is fine because people probably just finish with whatever old stuff they had.
Right.
And then hopefully now it will be steady, annual operation, but it was very successful. Yeah.
Television used to be a lot bigger back then.
Yeah, yes, a lot, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Police Chief.
Good evening, council members. Just want to follow up on a little bit that the mayor said in regards to mental health. He gave you one example of many of the challenges that we deal with the mental health system. I think this grant is going to be definitely a positive movement for us because the money is focused for this specific area to provide additional resources to the outreach groups and an overnight person as well. Just the quick numbers for us here in Middletown, we've handled just over 400 mental health calls thus far this year. Doesn't sound like an awful lot. However, most of those calls take 3 to 4 members of the department to manage, and some of them take several hours to manage. So the more resources we could get on the mental health team, the better we are as a community. Something else on the mental health agenda is Today, the Orange County Police Chiefs Association, in conjunction with Orange County Mental Health, did a collaborative training at the Paramount. They hired a specialist, an attorney out of Connecticut that specializes in mental health and policing to come in and present today. It was an outstanding training, but it came just in time, in line with that grant money as well. So I'd like to thank the city for hosting that and thank the county and the police chiefs for sponsoring that training. Another item is this past week, I lost one of my bureau commanders to retirement. I've had several retirements this year. This past week, Lieutenant Frank Graziano retired after 22 years with the police department. He's retired to take on another role in the community. Still kind of in the police field. He will be the director of the Orange County, or the Hudson Valley Intel Center, hosted in Goshen. As I mentioned, Frank Graziano served for the Middletown Police Department for 22 years. His father, Frank Graziano Sr., his late father, also served for 29 years. So Frank Sr. and Frank Jr. served the city of Middletown in the role of police officers for more than 50 years. So I'd like to thank him and wish him well in his next chapter of life. Lastly, this Saturday, September 25th, the Middletown Police Department will be hosting a community event. It'll be a movie in John Degnan Park. It'll be this Saturday, the 25th. As I said, the movie will start somewhere around 7:30, so it's open to the public, and we hope that we have several people come out and join us for that evening. Hopefully the weather stays clear for us. Other than that, I have nothing unless you have questions for me.
Question for the police chief, Alderman Massey.
Chief, you just might want to mention that our candidates on Saturday morning, that we've got somewhere between 72 and 78 police officer candidates doing the agility test. And I want to thank you because your department really helps out in that. In fact, you do most of the manpower work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I always want to ask you, how's Officer Barone? How's he doing? Is he back at work yet?
Officer Barone is not back at work. I did see him last Wednesday in person and spoke with him at length. He still has many challenges to overcome in his recovery. He's come a long way. It was a 1 year on August 28th of the incident, so he's just over a year. Several of his doctors have indicated that it would be possibly a 2-year mark before they really know what his limitations or his healing will be fully. So we still have a long way to go, but he's very positive. He still does his therapy. He's still trying everything he can to progress, but he unfortunately has not been able to come back yet.
Thank you. Wish him a speedy recovery.
Excuse me?
I wish him a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Superintendent of Recreation?
Good evening. Just to follow up a little bit with what the mayor stated with the skate park, that price tag is actually $18,000. The patchwork is even being donated. With weather, he's hoping to start it this Friday, and the ceiling will be the following week. So it is getting closer to being repaired, or hopefully that skate park can get back open for the many people that use it and respect it and appreciate it. We have a couple business items tonight, a couple transfers in our budget. One that's important, we brought on extra part-timers in our Parks Department and keeping a few extra part-timers on just because of the workload that we have in the extra properties we have, like the reservoir, the skate park, and mowing. So that's where you'll see some transfers, as well as with all the extra equipment we have and gas prices going up, we need that. One that might be a little bit of a topic of conversation, we have a resolution there to increase the fees of our camps from $90 a week to $110 a week. That still breaks down to $3 an hour for the childcare. It's the same price that Walk Hill has, and we're much less than other daycares in the area, other camps in the area. So if there's any questions on that, you can also ask me that. Our fall programs are all up and running. To sit here and mention them all, I'd be here a long time, so I won't do that to Mr. Massey. I know he hates that. But you can get on our website, on our registration site, on social media, and that will take you right to the many, many programs that are running. The programming staff is doing an incredible job. Lastly, this will be my last meeting as an employee with the City of Middletown for the last 39 years with the Recreation and Parks Department. This city, thanks.
Not that it's your last meeting, 35 years.
big one. The big thing I wanted to do is to have a public chance to thank the people that sit in this seat now and the people that have sat in this seat before you. They've always showed support to the Recreation and Parks Department. I've never been told no, except for my salary. That's the only time. Otherwise, it's totally supported. The pleasure I've had working with all the people from Mike Perkins and Ron Leibold and Debbie Sherman, the initials, the originals. I'm the last of the originals. We're starting a whole second generation, which is a wonderful thing. And what I've learned from them and the people I've got to work with in the past and now are incredible. Also, thank the public. Thank you for trusting me and the staff with your kids. You've always been supportive. It's been an honor and a privilege. And as I keep telling everybody, I'm retiring from the desk. I'm not retiring from this wonderful community. So with that being said, I'm also going to follow up on another thing the mayor said. The school's got a big project, finding a superintendent. And I agree it stays local. So you guys have a smaller project, finding a superintendent. But you have a local person sitting right back here that's beyond qualified and has worked her way through the ranks and is well respected in this community. So I hope she's highly considered. So thank you, and it's been a privilege.
Thank you.
Yes, Jude.
Before you leave, I know we had a water issue at the water park. Is that being resolved yet? I want to make sure it's resolved before you leave.
The water park, the splash pad?
Yes.
Fixed. Bianchi's all over it.
Okay, all right, great.
We have another problem, but we'll discuss that another time.
Anyone
Good luck,
else?
Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Corporation Council are here. City Clerk.
I know Joel had mentioned it, but I'll mention it again about the early voting. That starts Saturday, October 23rd through October 31st, and that's at the Senior Center. We'll be putting the times on our website, and I'm sure the Board of Elections will be sending out mail on that too. And I also wanted to congratulate John Degnan on his as a member of the bid board for a long time, and he's well-deserved on that thing, and I congratulate him very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question for John?
That's all.
Thank you, John. Public hearings and grievances.
Okay, tonight we have a public hearing for proposed revising of Chapter 475 zoning, that a borrow redemption centers be added to a use permitted in the light industrial zone district. I'll read the public hearing notice. Is hereby given the City of Middletown will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, September 21st, on or as near 8 p.m. as possible, Common Council Chambers, second floor, 16 James Street, to hear any and all persons wishing to be heard on the proposed revising of Chapter 475 zoning, that bottle redemption centers be added as a use permitted in the light industrial zoning district, subject to the Planning Board approval. Any and all persons wishing to be heard will be given the opportunity to speak either for or against the proposed revising of the zoning code. The complete proposed revising of the zoning code is available in the office of the Common Council Clerk, City Hall, 16 James Street, and also on the city website. The public hearing will also be conducted via video teleconference and live on Channel 20 for viewing, and there was the link to register for the public hearing. Any person unable to participate, my email was published, and I have not received any emails for any comments, and that's by the order of the Common Council. This was published in the Times Herald Record on September 10th and September 11th, and also on the city website.
Okay. At this point, the public hearing is now open. Anyone from the public? Eileen, do we have anybody online?
Not at this time.
Any member from the council? I got a motion to close the public
So
hearing.
moved.
Alderman Massey, second by Alderman Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. Okay, remarks of Alderman Burr.
I'd just like to congratulate Bureau Commander Graziano, Mr. Pangle, and most of all, Chris. It's been an honor and pleasure working for you for like 10 years, being the Parks and Rec chairperson, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Alderman John Francois.
Yes, good evening. I had the opportunity to join the mayor and county legislature, Joe Sierra, for the dedication ceremony for the American Legions regarding the pavilion. Got to say it was well attended. I want to thank everyone involved for the invite. Thank you. And Chris, you're definitely going to be missed. Thank you.
Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you. And congratulate Lieutenant Frank Graziano. He's going to be missed. He did so much for the city. Mark Pangle, I didn't know he was retiring that soon. I know he's our go-to guy for almost everything. He will be missed. I wish him well. And Brink, of course, congratulations. And I know you're retiring just from the desk, so we're going to count on that. And I'm sure Raylan's going to do a great job taking over. So we are in good hands. I want to thank the mayor for coming to our constituents meeting. We covered a lot of the issues that he covered tonight, and he gave us update on also on the psych center and what's going on, and a whole lot of things. So, Mayor, thank you for that. It was much appreciated. Maria, congratulations, and it's nice that the project is recognized and at least one of 4 or 5 finalists. And I also want to thank Temple Sinai for what they did last year for hosting the warming station. I think all the fears proved groundless, and it was quite successful, even with COVID coming up so strong at the end. They really handled that well. So I thank Rabbi Rubenstein, who has since left, and the whole congregation for hosting it. October 2nd, a week from Saturday, is the fire parade. I just want to remind people of that. I believe it's at 3 o'clock. Is that right, Miguel? It's at 3 o'clock, and the usual route down Highland Avenue, et cetera, down to Thrall Park. So please come out and support that. I think it's the first one in 4 years, so it's been a while. And finally, the county, I hear that maybe the resolution has been pulled, but proposing a resolution to oppose mandates, period, because that takes away your freedom. I haven't heard the county yet propose a resolution to condemn the insurrection and the attack on our Capitol on January 6th. We haven't heard a peep out of the county about that, trying to overthrow the whole democratic process. But putting a mandate and making a public health issue, no one's saying you have to get vaccinated. But if you want to work in public health, if you want to work in certain jobs, then to protect your fellow citizens, yes, it is a requirement, or get tested once a week. So I hope it's true that they pulled the resolution. I don't usually comment on the county, but that was so egregious reading that today that I can't help it. So that's it. Thank you.
Alderman Rakoff-Sum.
I'll be as brief as possible. For all of our retirees, I wish them all well in their next endeavors. Brink, I don't know, you're kind of synonymous with the rec department. You're the heart and soul of it. You have been for years. I don't think you can just disappear anyway. You have to be present, or we'll all go into shock. Council President Rodriguez spoke about some issues in the school, and with what went on in the skate park, as a mom, as someone who works in the school, as a resident of the city, super frustrating. Because in the schools, now we also have the issue with the vandalism of the bathrooms because TikTok told them to. And kids are destroying the property in the bathroom, and now our children are being restricted from using the restroom during their school day. And I'm kind of at a loss here, and I just feel like as a parent, all I can do is just beg other adults to just talk to your kids. We're failing somewhere because they do not understand that there's consequences for your actions. You know, the school district invests greatly in our kids. They give them beautiful facilities, top-of-the-line technology, and they should be raised to respect what they've been given, not destroy it. and not create environments where the learning, the whole day is disrupted because now children are being brought to the bathroom one at a time. That takes instructional time away from them. Our skate park, the city invested in our kids. There's something that they were interested in. We didn't want them having to go to parking lots. We built them one of the best skate parks in this region. And then these other children from another town who were welcome to come and take advantage of that came down here and destroyed it. And it is just so frustrating to watch the actions of a few, affect these people who do love and enjoy and respect the place that they live and what's been provided for them. So I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated as a parent. I'm frustrated as a citizen here that this just goes on here in our community. So I beg of you, parents, sit your kids down, talk to them, because there's just no other answer for that, but that we need to be doing a better job in the home, that our children don't think that these actions are acceptable. And that is all I have tonight. Thank you.
Alderman Johnson?
I concur. Alderman Ramkisoon. Yes, congratulations to the retirees, but it certainly bears repeating for one in particular. If we calculate how many children and families you've positively impacted over your time in the city of Middletown, it's thousands. Thousands of people have benefited from the efforts of your department. So a thank you doesn't really cut it, but I'll go for it anyway, so thank you. As we said, Alderman Ramkisoon and I have been communicating with our constituents. I've been trying to advocate Nixle. I've handed out about 400 Nixle cards in the last couple of months, and still going door to door. Most people have not heard of it. If you're on Nixle, you would know about the Fireman's Parade coming up this week, and please pay attention to it. It'll give you a lot of good information. I also want to join the mayor in thanking Vince for joining us this evening with an update. Yes, I have a lot of experience in that area. I was there for 17 years. I probably served with 6 superintendents, including an interim. It is a big undertaking, and it has significant consequences as you make your decision. I was on the board that we hired Robert Cadillac and Richard DeMauro, and there was Richard and Robert. Which one's Richard, which one's Robert? So I've known Mr. DeMauro a long time, and I think in particular his contributions as assistant for C&I have been very significant, along with the leadership of Ken Eastwood. So I think we all wish him well, and all of us on the council wish the Board of Education, may the force be with you as you move forward. Thank you.
Alderman Massey?
Chris, congratulations. Thank you for all your years of service, and good luck in your retirement. John Degnan, John, I'm sorry I wasn't around. I was on the other side of the country, but I'm really glad that we in Middletown, and then obviously it's under the direction of the mayor, we do things, we honor people while they're still around. So John, you can enjoy your park for the next 30 years rather than waiting until someone passes. So I think that's great, and John is the most deserving person there is. Warming station. Everybody, Jerry, and I know you've been part of the warming station for years and years and years. Everyone that's worked on that, thank you and congratulations. Maria, you and your staff, this honor brings attention to Middletown. We thank you. If there's anything, obviously, that the council can do, we're here for you. And I just got to end with one last thing. It's humorous. With me, it is, at least. Jacob, unfortunately, has left, but I was out in California for the last month, and their tap water is god-awful, terrible, and you have to put something in it, and I so much appreciate our tap water and what we've done, the council, the department, the water department, but I just thought I'd share that with you. Thank you.
I also want to congratulate everyone that's retiring. Chris is responsible for hiring me in 1989, 32 years ago. Parks and Rec was on the 3rd floor, and then we moved around, and I stayed on until 99, and then came back in 2004. So congratulations on your retirement. I know with summer youth and how many kids everybody we worked with, it's definitely touching with the community. So congratulations. New business.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr to authorize the treasurer to transfer $23,400 within the 2021 budget of the Middletown Recreation and Parks Department to cover insufficient funds due to reservoir upkeep.
A resolution by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. The resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois to amend the city code to add bottle redemption centers as a use permitted in the light industrial zoning district, subject to the planning board approval.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner to amend the fee schedule, Chapter A491, Section F, Parks and Recreation Fees to increase camp fees.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Ram Kasoon to accept a $525.20 donation from the Middletown Little League for park improvements.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Ray Consume, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to authorize the treasurer to transfer $11,000 within the 2021 operating budget of the Middletown Recreation and Parks Department to cover insufficient funds due to increase in gas prices.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Johnson.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to authorize the treasurer to transfer $176 within the 2021 budget to cover additional costs for the GASB number 75 statement required for the audited financial statements.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to authorize the treasurer to transfer $50,000 to cover the costs associated with the transition of the treasurer and the deputy treasurer and consulting of the former treasurer and deputy treasurer.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to rename Festival Square John F. Degnan Square.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That is all for new business.
Local laws.
Okay, tonight we have a vote for the local law. This is sponsored by Alderman John Francois. This is for local law number 2 of 2021, increasing the terms of the deputy commissioners of public works.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion on the local law? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That is all for local laws.
Audit.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Ray Consume. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move for adjournment.
So moved.